Power Rangers Beast Morphers is finally back. Well, for those of us either in the UK or able to watch through totally legal ways, it's been back for a while. There's always been leaks about the plot of the second half of the next seasons because they'd air in France and Spain before English-speaking countries, but at least those were in a language other than English and only a few weeks before the US airings. It's kind of ironic that a company like Hasbro, who's kind of notorious for being strict on copyright, would allow English language versions to air in the UK like a solid 3 months before the US, so anyone in the know could watch. So yeah, I've seen all of Beast Morphers, but I'll still be reviewing, in 2 different meanings, each episode as it airs in the US. And I'll save the implications this episode has on the whole season till the end, so those of you watching for the first time don't get spoiled. Okay, so the episode. Overall, it's very good in how it handles the characters and how it tells a story to the viewers. I really like that there's kind of a mutual respect amongst the Rangers, even though they're focusing on different ways of solving the problem. Sure, there's some heat right at the beginning, but when Devon is trying to find a solution to free Mayor Daniels, he understands and respects that if he doesn't find a solution, the rest of the team will move forward with their plan. And the rest of the team doesn't try to stop Devon. They're willing to let him find a way, though are prepared for the worst. It really shows that even if they have different goals, at the end of the day, they're a team. I also really like how they handled the Rangers' plan. They don't just fully explain their plan and then perform it for the viewer like any other show or even most Power Rangers seasons would. They lead the viewer down one path and then reveal their true intentions, which shows that even though it's a kids show, they don't assume everyone watching is stupid. Now for Devon's search. I think that Dr. K's inclusion is nice and it's good to see her back, though it's weird that she doesn't even directly help Devon exactly. She just tells him something he probably could have figured out if he had just kept looking into it. As for the Ranger Vault, I think it's kind of weird that this wasn't brought up at any point prior to this episode. In fact, the only reference to any previous seasons before this was in episode 1 when Mayor Daniels brought up some past villains. But it isn't exactly a spoiler to say that starting to bring stuff up from previous seasons is something that they're doing to set up for the Dino crossover, so I'll give it a bit of a pass. Besides, I really like the concept of the Ranger Vault, and I think it's cool we get to see weapons from MMPR, Dino Thunder, SPD, Mystic Force, RPM, Dino Charge, and Ninja Steel all at once to really cement where this season stands in the PR multiverse. Also, by the way, if they knew that Evox needed Morphex to survive, why did they turn the towers back on at all at the end of the episode? Why didn't they just wait until Evox and his crew died of Morphex deficiency and Scrozzle couldn't move between dimensions anymore? Whatever. Finally, before I get into spoiler territory, I just want to talk about Ben and Betty for this episode. The quality of Ben and Betty throughout the series is a series of highs and lows, and this episode kind of perfectly encapsulates that. The opening gag with them is very cringy. They're alright when they're helping Devon, and their ending gag is actually pretty funny. It's inconsistent, but I'm glad it got better as the episode went on rather than worse. I'm about to enter spoiler territory, so if you don't want that, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Now for spoilers. In retrospect, while not very many of my issues in this episode are fixed by later episodes, this episode does something to set up almost every aspect of the rest of the show really well, from the Dino team-up to Evox's origin, to Dr. K returning, to the Ranger Vault's later uses. In retrospect, it's great, though, as I said, it doesn't fix any issues I have. Dr. K is still not really necessary, and the Vault should have been introduced earlier. But overall, not a half-bad episode. I hope you liked the review. If you did, consider subscribing. Bye.